The Jedi Knights are charging forward against defending World War II armies. They are the Vanguard. Behind them is every Star Wars army currently in Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2. The Droid Army, the Clone Trooper Army, Stormtrooper Army, Rebel Army, and Mandalorian Army. They are death charging every World War II army in Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2. But it's not just this. We are going to have a battle where both sides charge each other. Then we're going to have the Jedi defending a beach defense. And then we're going to have the World War II armies defending a beach defense. And it is best to 3. Whoever gets 2 victories first wins. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below. Now let's get into some Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2, Star Wars vs. World War II. Alrighty then, boys, let's go ahead and press start. There are 1.51 million World War II units and 3.34 million Star Wars units on the battlefield. The Vanguard of Jedi, and actually there's some Sith acolytes on the Vanguard side of things as well, are charging the frontline Vanguard of World War II units, which is purely 1 million World War II American shotgun units. So yeah, this is kind of crazy. We had to give the Star Wars units way less troopers because the World War II units are so much weaker than them. But we'll just have to see what happens during this first battle. Remember, we're going to have potentially 3 battles. It's best of 2, or best of 3, so the first person to 2 wins on this video ends up winning. Could go either way for this battle right here. But already, the Sith and the Jedi are up to 80,000 kills at the very start of this thing, which just kind of goes to show how powerful they are, and that's why I gave the 1 million shotgun Vanguard a try at the very start to just spam fire into these boys and try and get some kills. And the shotgunners do, to their credit, have 8,500 kills on these guys, which is good, but following close behind is going to be all the rest of the Star Wars units. We have Clone Troopers on the battlefield, 501st Troopers on the battlefield. We also have Mandalorian Death Watch units on the battlefield, Stormtroopers, Rebel Hoth Troopers, CIS Battle Droids. There's also 100 AAT tanks and 100 ATTE tanks that are going to be in the way back lines over this way. Let's go spot them real quick. Yep, there are the ATTE tanks and there are the AAT tanks over there. Real quick, huge thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. They have literally the best deals in gaming. I use it all the time. If you like Star Wars games, Lego Star Wars for $2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 for $9. One of my favorite Star Wars games, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, $1.70. If you want to play the Star Wars Galaxy at War mod, Men of War Assault Squad 2, $3. Extremely popular games can be up to 99% off. Link in the description below. Thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get into the video. Now, in terms of the World War II units, we have quite the variety as well. We've got Japanese soldiers with Arasakas, we've got Russian soldiers with Mosin Nagants, Germans with Kar 98Ks, the Americans have both shotgun troopers as well as the Thompson SMG troopers, and then we also have British soldiers with Sten guns on the battlefield. They also are going to be coming forward with 200 Shermans and 200 German Panthers, so they do get more tanks as well because they are weaker than the Star Wars tanks on the battlefield. And there's a reason I gave these guys such weaker numbers compared to the World War II units, because right now we're already at 1 million dead World War II units. I think the shotgun Vanguard is about to completely die out, and we only have 122,000 dead Star Wars units, which is crazy. Actually, these Jedi are doing 10 times better than I ever would have thought they would. I thought these guys would be dead by now. I mean, they are dying. There's a lot of dead lightsaber troops back there, but it seems like they are doing far better than I thought, because they are still kicking it, and they've killed 1.1 million World War II units at this point. Now the Germans are getting in on some of the fun over here against these Jedi. Of course, the deflection of bullets back at them from the lightsabers doesn't help, because that is causing some serious damage to these guys. But I mean, there's just oodles and oodles of them back here ready to fire out. It looks like the Shermans are also firing, so that'll be good. Hopefully the explosive damage can maybe take some of them out. There's the Thompson troopers for the Americans right there as well. But these Jedi just continue to come through. They've killed 213,000 Star Wars units at this point. The droids are coming through and starting to spam fire out now as well. They're very bloodied. They are likely to go down fairly soon. But, I mean, bullets against metal clankers, it's a little bit rough. It's a little bit tough right there. Oh my god, more Jedi just carving through here. Absolute brutality. There's more SMG units right there. I have yet to spot... Oh, what? There's the British Sten gun units. I've yet to spot the Russians or the... Oh, there's the Japanese. So the Russians must be somewhere around here. But let's continue to look on the front lines. I think the Russians might be the very back unit, to be honest with you. And it looks like, yes, the Sith Acolytes are still coming through very, very powerfully. They are very bloodied, however, so they've clearly taken a lot of damage. But these swordsmen for the Star Wars units are just devastating the World War II armies here. They're just cutting them to shreds. It is brutality. Oh my god. 2 million dead World War II units at this point. That is like ungodly amounts. That is absolutely insane. They're pushing the beach, though. They've killed, I think, most of the Sith Acolytes on the beach. So they're pushing the beach, and they are going up against, it looks like Death Watch troopers, as well as some 501st units over here, too. These are really just Jango Fetts that I nerfed to turn them into, quote-unquote, Death Watch troopers because they look very, very similar, but I wanted some Mandalorian representation out here. A lot of these Death Watch units are getting sniped by some of those Japanese Arasakas over here, so they are taking some serious losses. Almost 500,000 dead Star Wars units at this point, but still 2.24 million dead World War II units, and actually they're just about even now. Both sides have about 1 million soldiers remaining. Yikes. I mean, just devastation across this entire battlefield for everyone, but especially for Earth's army. There's the Russian units. Ura! Sukabliat, my friends! That doesn't really make sense, but that's fine. Go forth! This has got to be the penal unit, right? Like, I mean, come on. They're death charging right now against laser bullets. They are bullets, sadly. I really, really wish that the Star Wars armies would be able to get actual lasers instead of bullets, but for some reason, modders aren't able to do that. It would be so cool if we could see blue and red laser fire going into these guys, but now we just see bullets, which is kind of sad. But either way, the Russian penal unit there is getting absolutely shredded. How are the tanks doing right now? They might all be dead, honestly. It could be pretty bad. Ooh, it is very bad over here. Look at this. The droids have pretty much overrun everyone over here. We got Panther Graveyard. The Shermans do disappear when they die, so I'm guessing those all died. It's really just the beach right now that the World War II units are still managing to survive the Star Wars units. We do have some Brits over here with their Sten guns fighting, you know, presumably decently well. They look like commando units, so they could be fairly powerful, although I don't think they really are, so... You know, they're trying their best, but they're getting surrounded right now by, it looks like, yep, a horde of battle droids coming on forward. And I don't think that the World War II units up here are getting all that much fire off anymore, so it's definitely a little bit rough, to say the very least. I mean, to say the very, very least. And look at this body pile on the beach, growing and growing. We've got the Japanese Arasakas over here firing out. So, I mean, they did a pretty good job against the 501st and the Mandalorians over here. I see big shots from the back. Was that AATs, maybe? Or am I just seeing things? Oh, no, yeah, there are AATs. They just kind of blend in because they're so bloody. They blend in with the ground there. So yeah, AATs are coming forward over this way and sprinkling some explosive fire, high explosive fire into the charging Russian penal unit over here. Rip, rip, potato chip. I keep saying peen. Russians over here going hard in the paint against the last of these Mandalorian Death Watch troopers. So we have had some slight victories for the World War II units, but really it's pretty bad. It's pretty disastrous. This is not going well in the slightest. World War II units down to their last 300,000 troops, it looks like, and the Star Wars units have 700,000 remaining. Why don't we go ahead and time-lapse the beach here with these two sides fighting it out, but it's looking like it's probably Jover. Okay, so actually, the beach invasion, the Russian penal unit took care of business. Killed those Mandalorians pretty good there. And now they're shifting towards, looks like we've actually got the Rebel Hoth troopers with their A280s coming in. Very, very good weapon. Oh, a couple Mandalorians still over here. They're going in for vengeance. Look at these guys sprinting. Yeet! As well as some clone troopers over here. Not really seeing the 501st or the battle droids, but rest of the army is very present. Oh, and neither are we seeing really stormtroopers. Unless some of these clones are stormtroopers. Which is entirely possible. They look very similar sometimes at a distance, especially in Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2. But yeah, the Russians over here have a little bit of a mass of soldiers left alive. Looks like 74,000 exactly versus 600,000 Star Wars units coming at them. You know what? Good job on them for managing to survive for this long. We've got more ATTE fire and AAT fire coming in hot. So these things are continuing to destroy World War II units from a distance. They took some damage, but they were in the back lines the whole time, so I don't think they really took all that much, clearly. So let's allow the penal unit here to get absolutely shredded by some Star Wars laser fire. I'm very proud of these Russian soldiers. The Red Army has done fantastic. Way to go, Soviets, but at the end of the day, it's probably not going to be enough. And there we go, boys. It was over in just 2 additional minutes there. 550,000 Star Wars units still remain. Apparently there's 7 Star Wars units somewhere out, or sorry, World War II units somewhere out there, but they're probably just glitched somewhere. So, they get to get away with this one. But we're going to go on to round 2. Star Wars units end up winning round 1. If World War II units can clutch round 2, then we will have a round 3. And if not, then this whole shebang goes to Star Wars. So let me set up round 2. Oh, there's some of the stormtroopers. Alright, boys, round 2, we have 309,000 Star Wars units defending versus 5 million attacking World War II units. The reason for the discrepancy is, of course, Defender's advantage. Now, all the same Star Wars units as before, except for this time, the Jedi are going to be charging. And we're going to be having reinforcements coming in the form of, these are the Mandalorians over this way, and then these are the Stormtroopers over here. 100,000 of each, so 200,000 reinforcements coming from the back line, and then 30,000 of each other Star Wars unit, plus 50 AATs and 50 ATTEs. ATTEs are down on this side of the beach over here. So, World War II units coming in, again, all the same units, except this time 5 million of them, and that accounts for the fact that there is crush, so when they spawn in the boats, they do drown a few and crush a few, and so some soldiers die. You can already see the World War II unit numbers going down, and on top of that, they're having to attack a defensive position, so they need a lot more units, especially because they lost last time around when they didn't have to deal with the defender's advantage. So it's a whole other ball game that we're dealing with now, and so I tried to balance it out in that regard. We've got some Japanese soldiers up here, some Russian soldiers, some US soldiers. We got it all going on against these Jedi units here. There's actually only 5,000 Jedi units charging right now, so not really a lot of Jedi coming forward and coming up here, but they'll still sort of distract, still probably be able to get a good number of kills. They've already got 260, and they've only lost 1 Jedi, so I would say that that's pretty decent. Now they've got 700, and they've still only lost 1 Jedi. Oh, they just lost 2, and they're now at 1,000 kills. So, yeah, those guys are obviously pretty decent. Here come the reinforcers, who will charge the beach as well, but I think that the beach defenses will probably die pretty quickly. I don't think the Star Wars units will stand too much of a chance up here. I think the Jedi eventually here will end up all going down. They've already lost 66 soldiers. This is just sort of to make the battle a little bit more dynamic. We do have some German soldiers up here now, more SMG troopers, some Kar-98Ks. I'm wondering where the tanks are. Ah, there we go. All right, so some Panthers are getting onto the battlefield now and firing out. These things will probably be the best at killing the Jedi, I would assume. Explosive fire, they cannot deflect that with their lightsabers, so therefore it will be the most devastating. Look at these guys coming through, chopping through. They might actually make it to the Higgins boats, which would be crazy if they made it to the Higgins boats. That would be impressive, man. Are those Death Watch troopers coming forward? It looks like, unless these are stormtroopers. Yeah, here comes some Death Watch troopers marching on forward, trying to come and help out some of these Jedi soldiers. More Jedi over here, but lots of them dying now. Almost 800 of them dead. Now 800 of them dead. They've killed 40,000 different World War II units. In the middle, where they're most concentrated, they're still carving through these World War II units like butter. Like absolute butter. Oh, there's some of the Brits now. So I think we've seen every World War II army on the battlefield thus far. That's in Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator too. Of course, there is no Italian army. You know, none of the obscure ones. Romania, Hungary, stuff like that. There's no French, stuff like that. So kind of a bummer, but it's all right. We can pretend that like some of the allied forces are the French and stuff like that, because sometimes, you know, French, Canadians, New Zealanders, etc., would just be wearing US or British uniforms, whatever they sort of got put into, especially the Free French Army. Okay, they've actually gone to the Higgins boats, and now some of these units are backing up into the ocean. What the heck? Oh my god. And the Jedi are just chasing them down, and now they're spawn camping. Now they're spawn camping the Higgins boats. This is wrong. You guys can't do this. That's messed up. Oh my god. Are they spawn camping the tanks? Yeah, they're spawn camping Panthers. And the Panthers are just shooting them point blank with HE shots right in the kissa. Oh my god. 11,000 dead Jedi and other Star Wars units. I'm guessing, yes, there are some Mandalorians coming up here. Because there are only 5,000 Jedi, so that the rest of those kills must be coming in the form of the stormtroopers and Death Watch troopers over here, who are now entering the fray a little bit and taking on some of these guys. So a little bit of tit-for-tat firing over this way as the World War II units tangle with them on the beaches itself. Now 22,000 dead Star Wars units and 120,000 dead World War II units on the battlefield now. The Jedi have to be going down fairly soon, but I mean, the fact that they've managed to do this much damage and distract the midsection of the World War II armies this much is pretty impressive. You gotta admit. More Death Watch Army troopers over this way coming in as well, though. So these guys will be getting some good licks in. I mean, a lot of them are dead on the battlefield, as you can see already. But they are getting kills themselves, so that's good to see. I think the Death Watch is one of the weaker Star Wars units in this mod, to be completely honest with you. I think the clone troopers are some of the best, as are the rebel troopers and the battle droids. The stormtroopers I actually had to nerf. I had to manually nerf them because they used to be so incredibly OP. Now they're just sort of average, but yeah, they were they were extremely overpowered to the point where we weren't able to do any battles with them because they were so powerful. Okay, I'm seeing more of the middle coming in, so yeah, Shermans have landed. They're starting to squeeze the last remaining Jedi. I'm honestly impressed that the Jedi even have this many soldiers remaining. Why don't we go ahead and time-lapse here the Jedi's downfall at the Higgins boats. Alright, yeah, the squeeze is getting put on these Jedi pretty good now, I would definitely say. We've got 342,000 dead World War II units compared to 85,000 dead Star Wars units. It looks like the top defenses are going to start getting utilized fairly soon here, but not quite yet. Where are those ATTEs at? Oh yeah, okay, so the ATTEs are up here, and they're being defended by B-1 battle droids right now, who are spamming down the beaches, and the ATTEs are providing some cover fire from the background over this way, so a little bit of explosive fire going into these guys as well. Quite a number of dead World War II units up here as they just get slain by those B-1s. Again, B-1s are a pretty decent unit, I would definitely say. Very few of them have died here just yet, which is kind of crazy. These guys providing that big overhead fire. That is baller right there. And it looks like the standard just shiny clone troopers over here are getting eaten away at pretty good by World War II units, I will say. This little valley area, though, holding out a little bit better because it's a bit more of like a choke point type beat. What's going on up here? Okay, so these are 501st troopers mixed with some free roaming stormtroopers. So stormtroopers are actually coming down the flanks over here and attacking these guys in the rear, which is definitely a good thing. Good to get some flanking going on. 500,000 World War II soldiers dead now, 100,000 dead Star Wars units. So maybe I made the World War II units a little too overpowered here, but I really thought the Star Wars units would have just amazing defender's advantage, but you know, they're not doing amazing, I will say. AATs over here firing out as well. But you know what? It's still yet to be seen. Maybe the Star Wars units do end up really hard locking in here. But it seems like maybe I overestimated. I mean, there are 3.4 million World War II units left alive, so actually 1.6 million of them have died on the battlefield, and that's because a portion of them died due to crushing. So that's pretty decent. 188,000 Star Wars units remaining. Why don't we go ahead and time-lapse the battle droids up here, firing down the cliffside, because I think this will look pretty cool with the charging units up ahead. Actually, maybe we should go with like these guys up here. Might be a little bit better because it's a better angle. Yeah, let's watch this. I think this will look pretty cool. Okay, the Star Wars units have definitely stepped it up a decent bit, because now the World War II units only have 2.24 million soldiers left. That's less than half of what they started with, since they started with 5 million. The Star Wars units have 84,000 troops left, so a lot of the B-1 battle droids over here are dead. ATT is still alive though, so those will continue to shred. It looks like over here, the shiny clones, very dead. There's a few left over this way, but they're getting assaulted pretty hard right now by SMG troopers of the American Army. Not good. Let's see. Here, I got you, blood. I got you. Okay, we did 20 damage. Incredible. Incredible performance, might I say. There's a few up here as well. What's this? Okay, these are the 501st Clone Troopers, and they seem to be doing pretty decently. Enemies coming in the sides, basically, and they're able to hold off fairly well. Then over here, oh, we've got more stormtroopers still filling the gaps, which is pretty impressive that they're still coming in here, fighting in this like little valley range, I guess. And there's, yeah, there'll be some more coming in as well over this way, and quite a number at the top of this cliffside over here, and just spamming fire down. I mean, it's pretty hard to miss, I will say. There's a lot of World War II soldiers down there. Who are these guys? Oh, these are more Rebel Hoth troopers, and I guess because they're on the far right flank, they're not getting assaulted nearly as much. Just because most of the enemies going either towards the B1s or down mid, so that does kind of make sense. The AATs right here are dead, so the AATs are going to be gone for the rest of the battle. But why don't we go ahead and watch the stormtroopers move around these top cliffs over here, and watch more enemies come on in. We do have less than 2 million World War II soldiers remaining, so maybe the Star Wars units will have this, but only 58,000 Star Wars units remain either, so I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell, man. Let's just let it play. Stormtroopers we were watching have died, but there's more further back here. It's actually just a collection of Hoth troopers and stormtroopers right now, getting slowly surrounded and cooked by some World War II blickies right now, so these guys are not doing too hot. 15,500 Star Wars units remaining. I can't imagine there's many over here. Okay, so it looks like some B1s are alive over this way, but it's mainly just these guys over this way. Oh yeah, 13,000 of them are over here. That's kind of cool that you can see how many are alive over this way just by doing that. I guess I've never done that before, but this is probably the last section that will survive, so we've got still 1 million World War II units left alive and 11,000 Star Wars units. Probably a World War II victory at the end of the day here. I kind of thought Star Wars units were clutching it up, but it looks like not the case anymore. Either way, the fact that they've killed 4 million World War II units is insane, and it looks like we might be going into round 3, but let's let the time-lapse show off the Stormtrooper and Hoth Trooper final defense over this way. Okay, so somehow there is one rebel trooper right here who is alive. There we go, we bumped him and he died. And there we go, the World War II units come through with a victory. 678,000 soldiers left alive, so they lost almost their entire force here. And now they have to defend the beach. So let's see how that goes for them. I don't think they're going to win this, but we'll see. I think just, you know, Star Wars units on defense, it's good, but Star Wars units on attack, very good. So let's check it out. All right, we have 1.73 million defending World War II soldiers against 310,000 attacking Star Wars units. So, yeah, the World War II units outnumber them a little over 5 to 1. It'll be interesting to see the result of this thing. I don't know how it will go, but, I mean, the World War II units often very, very bad compared to Star Wars, but outnumbering 5 to 1 and Defender's advantage could go hard. Could go very, very hard. We'll just have to see. I haven't tested this. I just sort of am assuming this is how things will go based on previous experiences. Here they come. Star Wars units already losing soldiers because of crush and things like that, so they'll dip under 300,000 relatively quickly here, but beyond that, they are getting in all of their troops. AATs spawning in. A couple of 501st troopers. Oh, but you got a little nudge there to get him going. AAT was a little impatient. All right, we'll let him come forward. All right, here we go. The first shot's being fired from AATs from the Star Wars unit. So these things clearly got some range to them. Launching some missiles out there. They got about 2,000 kills already on these World War II units. The snipes going on here. Absolutely incredible. So that's almost like artillery fire preparing the beaches for the infantry invasion, which is really dope to see. I mean, look at these shots. They are fairly accurate, too, getting some good hits. 6,000 kills. I mean, in the grand scheme of 1.7 million troopers they're going up against, not that many, but it will weaken the infantry defenders for the attackers. This is looking very, very solid, and here we go. Infantry now opening up. Arasaka guns from the Japanese infantry down here firing away, and they're starting to get some kills, already up to 300. Not too bad. Good opening rounds here from the Japanese soldiers, clashing against, it looks like some Hoth troopers, shiny troops, 501st troops, a few Jedi in the mix here too. It's going to be basically a concoction of all the different soldiers out here due to the fact that they just get mixed together in those Higgins boats, so it makes it very, very dynamic. It'll be pretty cool to see, I think, overall. Lots of Jedi coming forward, but they do a lot better when they are in mass, so as single units, they'll probably die a little bit faster this time around. Already 55,000 deaths, though, for the World War II armies. That's not great. Now 70,000 deaths, and they've killed 10,000 enemies. So about 7 to 1 right now kill ratio, which is not great for the World War II units because they need that 5 to 1 kill ratio in order to win. So starting off kind of poorly. How are the tanks doing? Wow, look at these pot marks from the AATs. That's crazy. They're killing large swaths, actually. How are the Shermans doing? They aren't firing yet, so once those get to firing, hopefully they do pretty well. And the Panthers over here, not firing either, but they are getting shot up. Oh, no, they're firing a little bit now. Good, good, good. Okay, if those shots can connect with the enemy, that'll be good. ATTEs over here firing a little bit as well. So we do have some clone trooper fire from these ATTEs. We'll manage to get many kills probably as well. We are now at 190,000 dead World War II units against 30,000 dead Star Wars units. So Defender's advantage is not working out too good, and that's, again, why I ended up adding so many World War II units against the Star Wars units here, because it was essential. But as the World War II units crest up these hills, I think they'll start taking more and more losses because it's going to be a bit of a choke point. That'll definitely help the World War II units a good bit and hopefully let them recover, especially with these Shermans over here firing, like right here. We'll see, I think, a lot of kills against these Star Wars units coming up and over. This is going to be, you know, where the Star Wars units really are going to either die out on these choke points or just persevere and get through. The Jedi are moving forward. A number of them are dying, but it seems like the Star Wars blaster units are dying more so here because those Jedi do just have bonus health and things like that. The Shermans are helping a decent bit, but also we're still seeing ATTE and AAT fire coming through as well. So it's really not looking too great. We got mass casualties over here. Hoth troopers, stormtroopers, clone troopers, battle droids all dying at the top of this hill and then sliding down. Their bodies dropping like crazy. 72,000 dead Star Wars units now, which is pretty good against 380,000 dead World War II units. So not too bad overall. I mean, the bird's eye view definitely can see large swaths of the World War II units getting cut through. But I will say, decent performance thus far from the World War II units, but also from the Star Wars units. It's fairly even here, I will say. Look at this right up here. They're just coming up and getting some shots off and getting gunned down themselves. So yeah, pretty much tit for tat right now, but we only have 100,000 remaining Star Wars units, and we have 1.2 million remaining World War II units. So actually, the World War II units are doing fantastically. This is pretty good for World War II, I will say. All right, well, why don't we time-lapse at the top here as Star Wars units continue to come up, Jedi continue to push forward, and these Sherman tanks are involved big time over here. Okay, pretty quick time-lapse there, but actually the Jedi attacking force ended up dying out pretty quick. It did not do too hot, but we do have more troopers coming in other angles. This area over here seems to have been sort of flushed out, at least this immediate area, but then, yeah, on the other angles, we got more Jedi coming in. These Shermans are tough. They're pretty good at killing Jedi, I will say. That's going to be a big problem going forward. What's going on over here? We got a large swath of Star Wars units coming in balled up formation here, mainly stormtroopers, and just sort of spamming out fire. They've clearly gotten a lot of kills against, who are these guys? British Sten gun troopers. So they're doing pretty decently. They've carved out a lot, but still a lot of Sten gun troopers left alive over there too. Are we having any more reinforcements? No, it looks like that's the end of the Star Wars reinforcements. They're down to 50,000 soldiers against, it looks like, I think it's 810,000 World War II units left alive. Oh, pretty big push from Hoth troopers, B1s, and clone troopers over this way as they continue to ravage some of these World War II lines over here. But I don't know, 40,000 Star Wars units now left alive, 770,000 World War II units left alive. Not great for the Star Wars units. I think World War II might end up with the victory here, but again, at what cost? It's quite brutal for them to face these Star Wars armies. Quite brutal indeed. And we've just got a pack of B1s and clone troopers over here that are migrating north. So maybe these guys end up getting some crazy kills and ball up and just clutch it. I don't know. Let's time lapse here. All right, these troopers have pushed fairly far forward here. They're doing decently well, but this is pretty much the last stand of the Star Wars units. They've got 12,000 troopers left, and they're going up against 650,000 World War II units. So despite getting over 1 million kills, which is absolutely insane, the Star Wars units will just sort of slowly peter out here, I think. They are going up against the Germans, who are one of the tougher World War II units in the Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 Battle Simulator. So it's a hard unit to go up against. They've got good range, good damage, and all that, but even still, the Star Wars units have done incredible things. They've done extremely, extremely well, and are going to continue to get some kills here. They are still rapidly killing World War II units, but at the end of the day, it probably just won't be enough, and I think that the World War II armies are going to win this thing overall, which is really impressive. And I think, honestly, if the Star Wars units hadn't lost a lot of units due to crush from the boats, they probably would win this, considering the fact that the World War II units themselves have killed 185,000 Star Wars units. That means that an additional 120,000 Star Wars units were killed due to crush. So I think without that, the Star Wars units likely would win. But with crush, it's just not happening. 3,500 Star Wars units remain. You can see the sporadic fire from them out here as they're slowly beginning to just be all alone. The spacing between them growing bigger and bigger as they get cut down by bullet after bullet here from the from the World War II units. 2,000 Star Wars units now remain, 610,000 World War II units. So a pretty baller battle. I mean, the Star Wars units did make it to the end here, but I mean, the middle ground is still very much alive and stuff like that. It seems like actually just this area was a very good landing for the Star Wars units. The rest of the areas, not so much, clearly, but I mean, just an absolutely crazy battle through and through, a crazy series of battles here, and I tried to balance them as best I could, but they're just two very, very different power level army, so it makes it hard. Especially if we were to do like Warhammer versus World War II, it would be a whole other level. That would be almost impossible to balance, but could be kind of fun. There's actually a lot of Jedi left alive over here, still cutting through the enemies. I would guess pretty much every Star Wars unit that remains is a Jedi right now, so about 500 Jedi on the battlefield remaining. We'll let them continue to cut through these Japanese soldiers here for a little bit. A little bonsai charge for them, and then we'll have the victor. And there we have it. World War II with the W, baby. Wow. All right, 590,000 World War II units remaining, so they did dip below 600K. A brutal battle with lots of losses for both sides, but way more losses for the World War II armies. That's crazy. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.